here loves Barbie? I do. I love Barbie so much. When I was young, I had like 50 dolls of her, an entire dream house even. Barbie is my ultimate role model, and I feel like my values are influenced by her. My first value is honesty. Barbie is obviously a very honest doll, and so am I. I cannot lie. Whenever I lie, I feel this pang in my chest because I feel so guilty for lying. For example, physics is a subject I don't really do well in. So whenever my mom asks me, Saieesha, how did you do in your physics exam? I look at her, I swallow. Mom, don't be mad, but I got 55. And she'd reply with, Saieesha, how dare you do this? Get out of my house. I basically cannot lie. I hate lying. I also despise people who lie to me. When I was young, the doctor told me, eat a lot of carrots, then you will lose your glasses. Guess what? I have eaten carrots my whole life, and I still have my glasses. I hate that doctor so much. I still look ugly now with these glasses. But anyways, moving on to my second value, success. Barbie is a very successful doll. She has done almost every profession. I feel like success is pivotal in our life. Why? Success helps us grow. Success helps us love ourselves. For example, whenever you get a trophy or an award, you feel like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do something. I can do something amazing. So these awards are some kind of reward to us. I have always been successful my whole life, but sometimes I have these unsuccessful moments. A few months ago, I had this public speaking competition. I was so excited for this because I was specially selected for my school by my teacher as I'm one of the best public speakers in my class. So I was so excited and nervous. I poured my heart and soul into my speech. I practiced consistently. The day of the competition, I went to the school. It was a huge school compared to my tiny school. And all the people looked extremely scary. I was practically trembling as I took my seat next to all the competitors next to me. They all looked so much older and so much more confident than me, and I felt so scared. As I walked up the stage and looked at my audience, there were at least 100 people in front of me. I was terrified. I almost forgot my entire speech. It was like speaking for the first time again. But you know what I did? I decided that I was going to try my best. So I got up on stage, I spoke. At first, I was nervous, but as I kept speaking, I became more comfortable and aced that speech. I thank Speakers Valley and all the coaches that have taught me for making me an amazing speaker today. Without this class, I would have never been able to get this opportunity to speak on stage in different schools and different competitions. I unfortunately did not exactly win that day. But even though I didn't win, I still felt like I had succeeded. Why? I heard people clap for me. Everyone in that room clapped. I felt success because I stood on stage and gave it my all. After my speech, all the teachers in my school started looking at me differently. They saw some kind of potential, which is why I got selected as head prefect. If I had not taken that opportunity to speak, I would not be head prefect today. Sometimes it's not always about winning or getting a trophy. It's about trying. It's about making yourself happy that you gave your best. At the end of the day, a trophy is just a piece of metal. Today, I hope that everyone feels proud of themselves for being here today and saying your amazing speeches. Even if you don't win, it's okay. What matters is that you try. I know this because Barbie always tries, and she inspires me to keep trying. At the end of the day, what matters is that you tried. Thank you.
Could you believe that just a few weeks ago, I didn't know my personal values? And now, when I look back on my past actions, I realized that every thought and action that I had carried out were all affected by my personal values. And that to me was very mind blowing because I never realized just how much someone's values could affect the things they do in simple everyday life. Today, I would like to share my values with you in the hopes that maybe you'll feel the same level of amazement that I did if you are able to reflect on your own personal values. My number one value is equality. I believe that everyone deserves equal rights and opportunities. And that carries beyond the current inequality between males and females and the role that everyone thinks they ought to play in society. Regardless of race or familial background, I firmly believe that everyone should have the same ability to pursue their dreams despite where they started. I say this because I think that I grew up with a lot of privilege, and yet I see people who are miles ahead of me with opportunities that I could never even hope to grasp. And I also see people that are far below me, where I have opportunities that they could never hope to have. Regardless of this huge gap both ways, I believe that everyone should be able to pursue the things that they love to do, and everyone should be able to be on the same level despite where they started from and the opportunities that they started with. The problem is that equality is something difficult to achieve. Even after so many years, we are only now just seeing the effects that people have been fighting for years and years and years. However, I will keep fighting for that equality because I believe that if I can pursue my dreams, so should anybody else. My second value is compassion. And this value, I believe, is the key that I hold to creating friendships and relationships with people that last. The big difference is that kindness and compassion, though people think they are often the same thing, they're actually wildly different. I believe that by being compassionate, you're not only being kind, but you're also allowing yourself to step into the shoes of others and understand them on a deeper level. When you're able to understand others in a, say, spiritual level, they start to feel more seen around you. They feel happy. They feel able to open up and share with you things that they might be afraid to tell others because they feel like you can understand them. You can show them that I understand, I feel you, I am with you. And that is very, very important to me to creating friendships and relationships that have lasted even until now. I've had friendships that lasted 9 years and we're still going strong. And I believe it is because of my value of compassion. My last value is arguably self created and not one that you commonly seen amongst others. But I believe that we should all strive for fun rather than perfection in the things that we do. Don't believe me? I mean, it does sound ridiculous, right? Let me tell you a story. I had an upcoming performance in school that I was rehearsing for a few weeks ago. But there was just one note that I could never hit in my solo, no matter how hard I tried. One day, while we were practicing on stage, a teacher downstage gave me a really disgusted look because I went off pitch. And after the performance, she was complaining to my team members that I sang awfully. I was crushed. I cried backstage by myself after the performance. But that was when my teacher in charge gave me a piece of advice that to this day I hold very dear to myself. She told me that when you get on that stage, you have fun. You don't think about how many missteps you did or how many vocal breaks you had. Don't think about what you could have done and what you could have done better, because those are one of the worst feelings you can ever come off stage from and have. Instead, be confident, be bold, and regret nothing when you come off stage. That way, you have a sense of satisfaction and self fulfillment. Even though I don't think my performance was perfect, I enjoyed it and I had fun. That is all that I believe that any performance, project, group work, your passion, I believe that that is all that it should be about. Well, even after all that, life does throw you in a loop sometimes, and I often find myself straying from my own personal values too. It can be hard to stick to them always, but I believe that you don't have to actively focus on your personal values. Know them, and they will forever be inside you, and they will always be there to help you guide you down the right path. Thank you very much.
Good evening to the coaches, parents, and participants of Speaker Valley. I'm so happy that you all attended today's Speakers Valley class. Hi, I'm Lim Ze Wen. Before I start my speech, I would like to ask you a very simple question. If there are two options of value in front of you, which is discipline and passion, which will you choose? You can either type in the chat or think in your mind yourself. I know, maybe a lot of you will choose discipline rather than passion. However, I will choose passion. Discipline is you have the ability to control yourself to do the things that are right at the correct time. For example, one of the hardest exams is around the corner. If you are a disciplined person, you'll be very nervous, and you will not be attracted by the things you like, such as playing games, watching TVs, because you know that it's a time to revise your exam, or you will disappoint your beloved parents or even your lovely siblings again and again. It is important for our lives. A disciplined person can also manage their timetable very well. They will be able to manage their time more better compared to a normal person. Disciplined people's results are always fantastic. They will score flying colors in their exams. However, for me, passion is more important than discipline. Why? First, what is passion? Passion is usually the thought of a driving force or motion that takes over. Passion will make you have a very heavy interest in one thing you do, which is very excellent. There were a lot of successful people who were made up of passion. For example, a very popular man, Bill Gates. Right, he created Microsoft. Long before that, he was just an amateur programmer who was passionate enough about computers in his 8th grade. He managed to excuse from math class to design things, like early video games, which makes him such a successful guy in the world. For me, passion is very important. I'm learning Japanese, and as I'm so interested in Japan, I will learn very fast and effectively. Passion will boost me on things that are interested. I'll be doing very well, and maybe I learn more and better compared to a disciplined person. You might say, if you're too passionate about an interest, you might neglect some important things. For example, studies. Besides, if you're passionate about bad things, such as playing games or smoking, even smoking, what will happen? A passionate person will only put their attraction on things that are correct. If you are interested in things that are bad, it's called addiction. Every value have their advantages and their disadvantages. Just use the advantage to repair the disadvantage. So, for discipline and passion, I will choose passion. What about you? Thank you.